All right, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the VP of Systems Engineering for the Americas, Keith Davenport.
I thought you were going to screw me. Well, thank you very much, everyone. I'm very happy to be here tonight and to be able to host the next Alliance Partner Session with VMware. At this time, I'd like to bring up Bogomil Balkansky and Chris Romano to the stage. Thank you, Bogomil. Chris. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much for, again, being the platinum sponsor for this event. It's so good for you to be here. And your support is much appreciated. I will remind the audience, again, for audience participation to log in, and for Q&A at the end, we're going to do a couple of questions, so if you could, please do so. Bogomil, let's start with you. At VMworld, VMware talked quite a bit about software-defined data center, and you introduced vCloud Suite. I'd like to understand for the audience, for their understanding on what does software-defined data center solution, how does that solve the customer challenges today?
Sure, would love to, but first, quick show of hands, how many of you here in the audience had a chance to be at VMworld? Quite a handful, but majority of you haven't had the chance to hear about the software-defined data center, which is the VMware's articulation of what our vision is for the next 3 to 5 years and the unique chance that we believe we have as an industry to continue driving the transformation of the data center. Now, Tom and Jay mentioned that this whole virtualization gig has been very successful for VMware and for Netapp, and most importantly for our customers, actually. But as we look ahead, we see that we have the same order of magnitude chance to transform not just compute, which we've been virtualizing for a decade now, but also to port the benefits of virtualization onto the other two major domains in the data center, namely storage and networking. And the software-defined data center is really about completing that virtualization journey and virtualizing pretty much any data, any service in the data center. And if you ask us, why do we think this is a customer-relevant agenda, it really goes back to this notion that Jay talked about in his speech earlier today about agility. Over and over again, when we engage with our customers and ask them, what is it that you're trying to do in the data center, the answer comes back something in the form of, hey, I just need to move faster. I need to be able to give my business counterparts what they need a lot faster than I'm capable today. And how virtualization is relevant to achieving that aspiration of agility is that think of what we've done with virtualization. Now, spinning a virtual machine takes just a couple of minutes. And we believe that if we were to virtualize the rest of the data center, would be able to surround that virtual machine with all the relevant data services like backup and replication and network and security services with the speed with which we can actually provision a VM today. And I should emphasize that this is very much an industry vision and an industry approach. It's not about VMware doing it alone. The only way we can be successful with the software-defined data center strategy and vision is by working with all of our partners. And what all of you in the audience are going to learn today is pretty much how products like Clustered ONTAP actually supports that movement of virtualizing storage, creating a storage abstraction. And this is how we see Netapp actually participating in this software-defined data center strategy.
Good. And so what has been the customer reaction so far?
Customer reaction has been overwhelmingly positive. And quite honestly, I believe that one of the reasons for it is that there is so much fatigue about cloud and cloud washing that there was like a collective sigh of relief at VMworld. It's like, wow, there is something interesting and fresh here. And I think customers are really hungry that we as an industry get down to what are the real technologies? Okay, cloud, I get it. Agility, I want it. What am I supposed to do? How am I going to build and operate a data center that will help me achieve these goals? And I believe that what we've articulated with the software-defined data center is something that customers buy in because we've demonstrated that it is possible on the compute. And now, because of that, customers trust us when we can do it together with our partners in the storage and the networking spaces.
Good, good, thank you. Chris, I'll turn to you.
Sure.
Same overall topic for software-defined data center. How does it integrate, how does it tie into the storage ecosystem at large?
So like all the constructs in the software-defined data center, software-defined storage is no different. It has to have intelligence, automation, orchestration, and it has to be policy-driven. So in a nutshell, those kind of key characteristics really define software-defined storage as part of the software-defined data center.
And what would you say, how is Netapp aligned to that?
So going back to 2001, my first interaction with Netapp when I was at VMware was installing probably ESX 1.1 or 1.5 on a bunch of Dell servers in a Netapp fast environment. And it was very clear back then when Alex Williamson, the guy that was running your global demo environment, said to me, he said, we're virtualization of storage just like you are of the compute environment. So very clear early on, software-defined storage as Netapp defined it really was kind of the trend that was coming. And I think Netapp really was poised to kind of take advantage of that and really fit right in there just perfectly.
Oh, excellent. And so as far as technical integrations do we have in place right now, can you give us a couple examples of that?
So aside from all the great technology, Flex clones, Flex cache, all the great stuff that's come out recently just to enhance it, the integrations with us on VAI is phenomenal. So the ability to do policy-driven storage with our VASA provider is another great way that you guys are taking advantage of it. And then on the SRM integration, Netapp was always at the forefront of that. They were one of our first reference architectures was around Netapp with SRM. And then lastly, the greatest integration, and the thing I found to my advantage in the field when talking about why we mesh so well together, is around the virtual storage plugin for vCenter. So the ability to actually kick off clones and flex clones and be able to deploy pools of virtual desktops and to be able to do backups and snapshots and mount snapshots and do file level restores. All those things are really phenomenal. So that it's just been a great partnership.
And Chris, without a doubt, these are absolutely fabulous integrations that are here today. Thousands of customers are using them. Mm-hmm. But everybody here heard this new acronym, VVOL, at least a couple of times in the demos during Jay's talk. And we're very, very excited to bring this new integration, if you want, to market. Netapp is one of the design partners for VVOL. And what that is basically we've joined forces to solve one of the fundamental challenges that our customers have today in managing storage in conjunction with VMware or any virtualization, which is the fundamental disconnect that we talk and operate on the unit of granularity of an individual virtual machine, and the majority of the storage management tools operate on LANs and arrays, which basically makes it very complex for a VMware administrator to have the same language and the same understanding as the storage administrator. And very often these two people kind of talk past one another, or it becomes a bit of a black magic, which VMDK resides on which LAN and which array. And so we've joined forces basically to create, think of it as like new way to format arrays so that we can have the same visibility from within the storage management tools and as well as from vSphere, so that you can apply all the very advanced and sophisticated data management operations that Netapp is so good at in terms of deduplication and cloning, etc., but be able to very easily apply them on per VM granularity and give bidirectional visibility to the vSphere admin and the storage admin so that both of them have the same information. And this is something that we're hoping to get on the market in the near future.
Okay. Let's change gears a little bit, and Bogomil, my question to you on this phenomenon of bring your own device, right? So it's an evolution, some may even say a revolution. Now with everybody's smart devices, the real expectation is that you have access anywhere. Could you touch on the challenges that puts on the IT manager today?
Yeah, I mean, we believe that with VDI, virtual desktop infrastructure, together with Cisco and with Netapp, we have made a dent into kind of a re-envisioning of how end-user computing happens in the future. But we believe that VDI is not enough. We believe that we need to innovate in other technologies, if you want, to enable us as knowledge workers to have seamless access to all of our applications and all of our data across any device that we may want to use. The days when IT could unilaterally dictate that everybody shall use the standard issued desktop or laptop are gone, and there's nothing that IT can do to reverse that trend, so IT just needs to find productive ways to embrace and get ahead of that trend. And we believe that historically we've gotten backwards. Historically, IT has been in the business of provisioning devices. Now we need to turn that model around and And instead of provisioning devices, we need to actually provision users with the set of applications that they need and all the data that they need and expose all of that across any device and any form factor. And to that end, at VMware, we have been working on a complete suite of end-user products that includes VDI, but also doesn't stop there, around enabling just that, seamless access to all applications, all data across all devices. And together with Netapp, actually, we're working on some very interesting technologies around the ability to synchronize and share data across all of these fabulous devices that all of you guys just showed a few moments ago. Think of it as an enterprise sort of version of Dropbox or Box.net. Where the secret sauce of Netapp comes in is precisely an ability to deduplicate, these capabilities that Dave is so excited about, because we can see that if we don't do that, that could become kind of the next huge driver of storage costs for our customers.
So obviously, our joint solutions between our two companies, VMware and Netapp, definitely helps the customer out there today.
Absolutely.
Chris, I'll turn to you. I mean, could you talk about really the rationale behind including EMC's Avamar in vSphere for backup?
Yeah, so we don't want to make too big of a deal about this. This really isn't a porting of Avamar for vSphere. It's really just leveraging some of the technologies around Avamar. It's also a play really at the SMB space. It's designed for smaller environments. It's not designed to replace enterprise solutions like Snap Protect. And then the third piece about it, there really is no upsell opportunity. So we're not going to seed the market with this little Avamar technology that's buried inside our vCenter data protection and then try to upsell them to Avamar. The idea is to let them use other technologies like Snap Protect and other technologies that are out there to do that kind of thing for larger scale deployments.
Oh, good. I appreciate you answering.
If I can also emphasize, it's actually, we haven't just taken Avamar and put in vSphere. We've taken bits of Avamar technology and built a net new product inside vSphere. There is no straight upgrade path from that product actually to Avamar. And so this product is very well sort of positioned and limited to SMB and lower end of commercial space. More importantly, actually, so many of our joint customers are very successfully using Snap Backup, and we fully anticipate and encourage those customers to continue using Snap Backup.
It's a careful dance we play. We want to enhance our products to make the customers happy and give them robust solutions, but we also don't want to step on our partners' toes. So it's a very careful dance.
So, Bogomil, I'll turn to you now. Both VMware and Netapp are very strong partner companies, and you have a very, very large partner community in front of you now. Tell the audience exactly where would you like them to focus after they leave this event, and what programs would you like to tell them about that you're currently running at VMware?
Yeah, I mean, for everybody here, I think Netapp did a fantastic job making it clear what's important going forward. And at least I took away that it's something called, clustered ONTAP. And if you ask us, how does VMware execute on this vision of the software-defined data center, the product embodiment of that from VMware is something called a vCloud suite. And this is the most important thing from our go-to-market strategy. And by the way, the vCloud suite is actually baked into these solutions that we actually jointly go to market with, such as the FlexPod, for example. And as a channel partner, we jointly support you in 3 different ways. One is by creating these predefined solutions like FlexPod. And by the way, happy birthday, FlexPod. It has been hugely successful for Cisco and Netapp and us at VMware, because VMware is kind of baked into the FlexPod architecture. We have done similar things around VDI solutions. And by the way, the reason I believe this is so impactful for customers is it really struck me, one of the things that Tom said in his speech earlier today, that customers really want integration but coupled with innovation, right? On one hand, customers are really sick and tired of playing the system integrators, so they want us vendors to take the onus of integration ourselves, but at the same time, customers don't want to sacrifice best-of-breed functionality. They just don't want a bunch of crap, so to speak, put together. And I believe that FlexPod uniquely offers that best balance and that best combination between best-of-breed but also pre-integrated. And so we'll continue to do more of these joint solutions. The second way that we support the channel is by creating best practices and documents of how do we actually jointly recommend that customers are successful deploying our technologies. And the third way is supporting your go-to-market strategies with marketing campaigns. We're doing very interesting things, for example, around virtualizing business-critical applications together with Netapp, and we've created kind of ready boxed, if you want, out-of-the-box marketing campaign around virtualizing oracles and other business-critical workloads. Or for the SMB, we have the real-world advantage marketing campaign. So these are the three ways that actually partners should look to us for enablement and support: joint predefined solutions, best practices, and out-of-the-box marketing campaigns.
Excellent, thank you. Chris, give us some examples of how our two teams are working jointly for success in the field today.
So it's no secret, Netapp is a great partnering company with alliances, with VARs, and all of you guys out there. You're the intersection of where Netapp and VMware meet in delivering these solutions, and you guys are very, very important to us. So it's really been phenomenal as that's worked out. One of the successes I want to highlight is an educational company with very large NFS data stores of like 1 million objects. And this is an interesting story for us, and it'll probably be interesting for a lot of you guys, because this was an example of where the integration with Netapp and VMware actually allowed us to win the opportunity. VMware was not a lock in this customer. They were using KVM for years previously, but they were Netapp bigots. They were not going off Netapp storage. And the fact that we could show VSC integration was so tight, and that VMware has increased our orchestration of workflow engines and frameworks to enhance that stuff, actually won VMware the opportunity. It was a $2.3 million opportunity of VMware software that we won on the coattails of Netapp. So those successes are out there. You guys can find those kind of things.
Outstanding. I think we just need to obviously talk it up more and share those stories throughout the teams, right? So we can replicate that success. So thank you very much, Chris and Bogomil. And now we'd like to be able to open up to the Q&A time. Questions that you put in. We're waiting for that pause. And the first question is? I don't see, oh, here we go. Oh, I saw it for a brief second. I'm not that fast. Evelyn Wood did not. Great, a couple of questions. First one, what enhancements would you like Netapp to focus on for VMware?
Do you want to take it? We could take, I mean, we were talking about some great QoS sort of things, some of that integration around QoS, tying them together from the virtual infrastructure layer down through storage so that we have a seamless kind of QoS integration would be a real cool thing. It was something we were talking about earlier today.
Yeah, so part of the, just to expound on Chris's idea, some of the notion behind the software-defined data center is being actually able to automate the upfront provisioning of what VM should reside on what kind of storage, but then also, this is the day one problem, right? But then once you provision something on a certain array, you need to make sure that you can guarantee the quality of service over time. And in the spirit of what we're trying to do with Vivos, for example, of better bidirectional exchange of information, this is an area that we're having a lot of fruitful discussions with Netapp around, to the benefit of our customers, cooperating to provide better integration, better visibility to the storage admin, to the vSphere admin. So the area of QoS is something where I believe we can certainly push the envelope together.
Great, and I like this next question a lot. What is the next stage of evolution for VMware, and how does Netapp play into that vision?
There's two big things that VMware is trying to do over the next 3 to 5 years, quite honestly, and they should not be a surprise at this point. In the data center, it's about software-defined data center. It's about virtualizing storage and network together with our partners, and obviously everything that you've heard today from Netapp plays squarely into that vision of being able to simplify and automate storage provisioning, storage operations. And the second big thing that we're trying to do is trying to reimagine how end-user computing is done within our customers, trying to establish this new model where we provision users and their applications and data rather than devices. And again, Netapp plays a very central role with all the technologies that you guys are working on the storage side.
Thank you, good to hear. And now we have time, we're going to go to a video. If you can tee that up, please. At least the slides are. Sorry, I'd like to be able to introduce the people on the video. Well, it's well, with that, gentlemen, I thank you so much for your support. Chris, thank you. Bogomil, thank you very much. Together, VMware and Netapp, we look forward to a great selling year ahead of us, along with our channel partner team. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bogomil, thank you very much.